Gotta talk fast. Gotta talk fast. Gotta talk faster, faster, faster. Gotta talk fast.
Welcome to an oral review of Archie Comics Sonic the Hedgehog, reminding you the apps know. Think about how many analytics and metrics you're given access to by social media apps. Now think about how many metrics they don't show you. Remember, the data never forgets. This is how they make money and how someone can track you, predict you, and piece together your home address. The apps know. I'm Nick, and except for this intro, I wrote the script.
And I'm Dominic, and except for this intro, I haven't read any of today's script. I should correct myself in that intro that I wrote, is that I kind of put like the third party open source intelligence piece of advice there at the very end versus the first party data gathering thing at the end. But either way, just watch your social media, look at your social media, review it, and be like, okay, I am stalking myself. How would I do it? Right? Mm-hmm. Think about it like that.
That's why I give Apple all my money.
Yeah,
because
and also
I trust them to protect my data.
Yeah, there's a good Substack by Margaret Killjoy. She is a good author, and because I don't read, I haven't read any of her books, but I've seen them at the library. But regardless, she has a good Substack recently on like cleaning up your digital life, good advice, shutting down accounts that you don't like. Twitter, for instance, I deactivated my Twitter, and or at least my most active one, the one tied to me. I think I still keep a dummy one out there for like looking things up on Twitter. It's a lot. You don't realize, if you're our age, how much of your life is on social media and how much of it has been used for data. That's the big money maker. It really truly is. It's absolutely crazy.
I think we're close to a renaissance with young people and how they interact with the mobile web and internet in general.
Yeah. Just the sheer implosion of the overload, mm-hmm. and just greedy hands taking everything. Yeah, I think so too.
I think there's going to be a real rejection of the internet shortly, whatever that means. I don't even know what that would look like. I just think people are kind of fed up.
There's a trend on YouTube and probably TikTok, I don't know, but on YouTube at least, there's these creators. Here's how I switched to a dumb phone, like a flip phone.
I've been flirting with that idea for a very long time. Honestly, there's a thing coming out called the Light Phone 3, but it's very expensive, and I don't know if I want it because it's trying to do too much in a way that I don't want it to. But it is like just a bare bones phone that is just a music player. It does like Google Maps or something. It does it maybe its own map thing. I don't know.
Sure.
Note taker, and it takes really bad photos. And that's all it does. And there's a calendar.
Why does it cost more?
I mean, they don't have a
supply chain or
huge. Yeah, they don't have a huge backing of a company. So you make things in smaller amounts, it's going to cost more. I don't know the quality of the product either. But I know it's like $700. It's expensive, but you can also just buy regular dumb phones. Depending if they work with the network or not, that's another thing, because you can only get 4G phones in America, but in the rest of the world you can get 2G. So it makes it so you need to be very careful about what kind of dumb phone you buy in America. That proves, I think, that I've done my due diligence and research.
I didn't even know about any of that. That's good.
I have a quick story to tell before we do this.
Reminder that we have timestamps. We have timestamps.
we can edit this out if you want. Well, I'll let you be the judge.
Yeah,
because I don't know how long it's going to take. So obviously, as you can see, I am home. I am no longer in a hotel room. I've been gone for like 6 weeks, 7 weeks. I don't know. Time is an illusion. Wednesday of last week was my last day in Houston, and I was there for a thing called a cutover, which is when you cut over from, say, one piece of equipment to another, or say from one service provider to another. In this case, we were switching switches from one brand to another brand. And so we do it after hours to make sure it doesn't interfere with the business and whatnot. So we do that. We start late because people don't show up and it's annoying. But I do this cutover, and I get done around like midnight. I'm like, I've got two options. I can go back to my hotel room, or I can start driving. No matter what, I'm going to get a hotel room. So in my mind, I'm like, maybe I could get some miles on the road, get a hotel room, and then make my drive shorter for tomorrow because I'm so hyped up, like maybe cut off like 2 hours of my drive.
Nice. So
I start driving, and I'm heading north towards Chicago from Houston, and the path it's taking me is through southern Illinois, which means I'm gonna have to go through eastern Texas. I drive for about, I'm gonna say like 2 hours, so it's around like 2 a.m. ish, and I'm like, you know what I need to do? I need to pull over, take off my work boots, throw it all in my trunk, wear my sandals, start driving again. At this point, I haven't eaten in, over 12 hours, outside of some chips that were sitting around.
You're in Texas.
Everyone.
There's got to be like a late night diner somewhere, right?
Well, and so there is, because every single gas station has a
Mexican joint
restaurant.
Yeah.
Well, not always a Mexican joint.
Sure.
And so I'm driving and I'm starving, and this gas station that I'm seeing signs for has a Whataburger, which is conveniently open 24/7. So I pull into this gas
no
station.
detail. Whataburger, just in general, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
You don't judge Whataburger from a gas station Whataburger at 3 a.m. in the middle of East Texas.
I feel like you would, but anyway, continue. Yes.
Go, and I take a bite out of the chicken sandwich, and I'm like, this is the most disgusting thing I've ever eaten, and throw it immediately in the trash. So I didn't even eat anything.
Wow.
I was just like, this is so gross. I had Whataburger a little bit earlier in Texas, and it was fine. So I think this was a 4 a.m. in Texas, 3 a.m. in Texas thing. So disappointed, throw it away, go to my car to start driving. I'm like, this is probably around the time I should probably get a hotel room anyway. I'm getting exhausted. Can't open up my car. I've had something like this happen before where I was just like, oh, the battery in my keys died, right? But I'll just say I replaced the keys in my battery, like the battery in my keys, like 2 months ago. So I don't think it's that. And
that's a really short time frame to be.
Exactly. And so I'm like, I must have dropped my keys. I walk back my path through Whataburger into the bathroom. I don't see them anywhere. And I'm like, well, let me just like kind of look into my car, see if I can see them in my car. I don't see them. And so I'm like, okay. So the logical thing is I probably dropped my keys when I took off my work boots along the side of the highway.
Oh, shit.
And so I don't know where that was. I just know it was recent, right? I pull up Apple Maps because I'm an iPhone guy. Apple Maps doesn't, or at least they don't show you, right? It doesn't show you the path you've been down, right? Mm-hmm. It shows you places you've been to and like points of interest, but it doesn't exactly show you the right path. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I don't know what path how I got here, right? Because I'm just following the GPS and my mind is like dead, especially because I just worked 8 hours. Mm-hmm. So I'm not exactly functioning on like my higher brain functions. So I do what I can do, which is I open up Apple Maps and I'm like, I'm going to input the location where I came from. And which gives me 3 choices on which way to go. So I just kind of choose one at random. And I'm like, this is the fastest. So this is probably the route I was taking. And then I slowly follow the path on Apple Maps, looking for where I pulled over I knew there was a gas station. I don't know the name. I just know there was a gas station and it was closed. And so I'm looking down the path that I took, looking for gas stations. I find one, and it feels like it might be right, but I don't know for sure. And Apple Maps didn't have like a picture of it or anything. So I pull up Google Maps, and the last image from Google Maps from 2 years ago. And let me tell you, there was not a gas station there for 2 years ago. And so I was just like, I don't know if this is the right place. I was getting ready to keep on looking when I noticed that the intersection where the gas station was the road was red. Oh. And I remembered when I pulled over earlier, the road was red. And
physically,
so
like the road was colored red?
It was physically red. So I'm like, I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to try to Uber there and see if my keys are there, because I don't really have any other options because there's no hotel near me. And it's 3:00 in the morning. I start trying to Google, like, what do you do when you lose your key fob, right? Mm-hmm. And the answer is you like get your VIN and you go to like, in my case, a Chevy dealership. You give them the VIN and they, I guess, can make you a new key, and it's going to cost like $800.
Yeah.
Well, I went and tried to get my key fob replaced at a Chevy dealership, and they quoted me, I think it was like $600 or something. And I'm like, I'm not paying that. And I just walked away.
I recently had issues with keys, and it's insane how much they cost.
Well, I mean, I just bought a shitty one off Amazon for $15.
Yeah.
And you don't get the remote start, but I'm fine with not having remote start.
That's good. They just have an extra key. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. And so obviously I don't want to do this walk. So I try to Uber, and this may come as a shock, but there aren't Ubers at 3:00 in the morning at East Texas in the middle of nowhere. So I plotted out, and it is a 8-mile walk to this gas station. So I do what any sane person does at 3:00 in the morning with not a lot of options, is I go for a nice little jaunt in the middle of East Texas. Luckily, the gas station I was at sold like high vis like sweaters. So, you know the yellow stripes,
sure,
with like the silver on it. So I bought one of those, and because it was cold, it was like 60 degrees, maybe like 58, and I'm wearing my sandals. Luckily, I'm wearing pants because I thought about changing into my shorts just for the comfiness of the drive. And I go and I walk 3 hours on the side of a highway in the middle of East Texas.
And you found them?
So I get to this gas station. I walk up and down the street where I think I parked and where I'm like, I could have lost my keys here. I don't see them. I walk up and down a few times, and I'm starting to like, not panic, but I'm like, well, I'm fucked, right? I'm going to have to start figuring out where the nearest Chevy dealership was, which was like 50 miles. And an Uber there alone was going to be extremely expensive. And then I have to get an Uber back. And so I was going through that in my head, and I decided to like kind of do another pass, this time on the side of the road. And that is where I found my keys, was sitting on the side of the road in the middle of the highway, like kind of middle of nowhere, East Texas. I don't know why they were on the side of the road, because I didn't exactly go to the side of the road at all, because I pretty much just got out of my car, went to my trunk. Like, all this happened in the middle of the street. So I don't know. I wonder if someone like saw my keys and just like pushed them off to the side or something. Because I was fully expecting my keys to be like crushed, like someone drove over them, but they were perfectly fine. Luckily, at this point, it's like 6:30 in the morning. There's some Uber drivers out, so I don't have to make the 3-hour walk back. I Uber back, get in my car, and now I'm hyped up from having to do a nice little walk at 3 in the morning for 3 hours. So I'm wide awake. I just get back to driving, and then I drove all the way home from Chicago in one go. So it's the longest I've ever driven in one sitting.
This isn't even an entertaining story. This is just sad. Like, this is just unfortunate.
Yeah, I assume I had like so much adrenaline and whatnot. My body was just like, you're going home. You need to go home. But yeah, I drove 16 hours straight.
And what day did you come back?
What is today? I don't even know. That was last week.
Okay, good. So this is more than a week ago.
Yeah, because I've been sick this week.
Right.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Your job sucks. Like, it's not even job related.
My job didn't do that.
No, but so your job didn't do that, but it's a side effect of having that job and driving really long distances.
Sure.
That dude, I can't imagine the frustration of the dichotomy between living in the city where you are and, you know, having access to the general CTA. You bought a bike recently, right? Trying to live that walkability, that general no car lifestyle, and then and then driving to and from Texas, that is, or Pennsylvania or somewhere. That sucks, dude.
Yeah, I don't know if I've said this on the podcast, but I think I'd be a very good truck driver. I'm very good at, well, maybe not, because I just lost my keys in the middle of East Texas. So, but I'm very good at just kind of going long distances and just like zoning out and doing what I need to do. That's
no way to live, in my opinion.
No.
They drive industry. Let me be clear. Truck drivers are absolutely essential labor, especially how our infrastructure is set up. But I cannot imagine that job.
Yeah. So we're doing a podcast.
Yeah. I'm going to cut that down for the record.
Oh, yeah. You do what you got to do.
We are reading Archie Comics' Sonic the Hedgehog's Buddy Tales miniseries, Part 3. Release date, December of 1995. Publication date, February of 96. Southern Crossover, Part 3. Written by Mickey Gallagher and penciled by Dave Bannock and Mike Gallagher. Does it actually say Mickey Gallagher?
No, I might have just been.
I get it. I relate. I was up at 5 a.m. trying to get to my washing machine. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want to tell your story?
No, I'm good. I'm good. That's worse. Yours is worse. Made me feel a lot better about my story. We open on a summary of Tails' adventures so far through the eyes of his comic, Tales to Astonish. Our hero found out that Robotnik was about to supply an underboss in the land of Down Under. Captain Super Foxman, the mutant cyborg clone, decided to put a stop to this nefarious plan. But he was discovered by a SWAT bot piloting the supply blimp, and he was shot down into the 8 waiting arms of Octobot. However, beneath the waves lives the 40 Fathoms freedom fighters who saved him. Upon arriving in Down Under, he was set upon by Crocbot's pack of ferocious mechanical canines, the Wing Dingoes. Just in the nick of time, he was rescued by another band of free-dom fighters led by local marsupial Walt Wallaby. Badly bruised, he was taken to a deep, dark crater where a mysterious stranger lived. We cut to Tails and Thayer in the crater where Tails is healing from his wounds. And we said from last week, I am suddenly now remembering, we had this dumb combination of old man, Brooklyn, and Aussie. Do we want to simplify that in any way?
Yeah, we should. I feel like this guy's going to come back. So,
okay.
Do you want to
set on Aussie for continuity of the society?
Well, we have to decide on continuity being Aussie or Brooklyn. So do you want to do old guy Brooklyn or old guy Aussie?
I still think it's a really funny joke that Knuckles is Brooklyn because he's been isolated from everything and everyone. Oh,
I get
not
it.
necessarily,
I'm with it.
But from his own kind, from his own species. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So old Aussie.
Old Aussie. Okay. Hugh Jackman. You. Okay. I know it's a bit, but it actually does help me. I'm not joking.
No. Yeah. No. It's just funny. Two things can be true. It could help you and be funny.
And so does the shaking of the hands. I'm not joking.
Oh, that one's weirder. Yeah. That one you do deserve to get made fun of.
You have a lot to learn and much healing to do, Doubletail. Rise and walk with me.
Athair grabs Tails and picks him up. Tails winces in pain.
Knowledge cures all, young one. You have been chosen to share secrets of the past and vision of the future.
Athair guides Tails into a room with the ancient walkers. They stand still like statues, not reacting to Tails or Athair walking into the room.
Listen well, my son, as the voice of the ancient walkers echo across the centuries.
Look, I'd love to stay, but I'm really busy.
Ah, busy. My echidna ancestors were busy too. Busy ignoring the natural beauty of planet Mobius. Busy building skyscrapers and scientific toys.
We cut to an image of a futuristic society with echidna flying around tall skyscrapers.
They were so busy that they barely noticed the approach of a giant white comet until it was too late. Utilizing their beloved technology, they lifted Echidnopolis up from this very spot.
Hell yeah.
Thus creating the floating island.
What a dumb fucking name.
Yes.
That's like that's like us making a city calling it like Humanopolis. Like, what are we thinking? Why would we think that's like even normal?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I should also, just side note, I should acknowledge my accent is just out the door at this point. Walt Wallaby is the cleanest Aussie accent I can do. This is just, it goes into like English, like, what's his name? Dick Van Dyke territory. So I acknowledge it. I don't give a shit.
Whoa, you mean the floating island would fit into this crater? No, the sacred covenant was broken. Come on, don't talk in riddles. My friend Sonic knows Knuckles, the guardian of the island.
I would like to take this moment to emphasize that Tails also knows Knuckles, and it was weird to just throw Sonic's name around like that. Athair chuckles.
Does he? I know him too.
Athair brings Tails to some cave drawings showing 5 different echidna, with the first looking caveman-esque and the last looking like Knuckles.
For centuries, our family was charged with protecting the floating island. My son succeeded me, then his son, and now Knuckles. You're his great-grandfather? Indeed, but you've distracted me. There is no time to speak on this. You're right, Athair. I'm on a mission. I've got to go. Fuck this exposition.
Yeah,
Tails storms at a pivotal juncture. Tails storms out of the room and starts walking past the ancient walkers.
Please, you have been chosen. The ancient walkers wish to commune. Talk to a bunch of statues? Sorry, there's no time.
Just then, the alligator-looking ancient walker grabs Tails and puts a stake up to his neck like he's about to shank him prison style.
That's where you're wrong, Tails. Time is the one thing we all have in abundance.
I'm going to cut you off right here. Literally 2 seconds, like 2 frames ago, 3 frames ago, Altair is just like, we don't have time.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even notice
like
that.
Literally like 3 frames ago or something. I'm trying to find the exact frame. I don't know why I'm like,
the panel. Yeah.
There is no time to speak of this. And then immediately after, time is the one thing we have an abundance of. I'm like, what? I'm pitching right now that Altair might just have like dementia or something.
Altair. Yeah. I can, I shouldn't defend it, but I guess I can defend it by saying, Altair really doesn't want to talk about his grandson being weird. So he's like, prick. We don't have time for this. But then he defeats his
talk.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. We cut to Crocbot watching Robotnik's airship dock from his control room. Robotnik cuts into the feed and starts yelling at Crocbot.
This is Dr. Robotnik monitoring your progress, or lack thereof. What's the problem?
And then Crocbot, it's like a creepy Aussie.
Nothing I can't handle, Chubbolts. I'll call you back.
Crocbot cuts to another video feed, watching the Down Under freedom fighters destroy all of his machines that he has sent after them. Crocbot pulls out a CD-ROM.
Curse these heroes. They're fouling up my plans. Now they'll pay the price. So says Crocbot. Once I've unloaded that blimp and reprogrammed the SWATbot crew, I'll rule Down Under and eventually Mobius.
Crocbot stands up from his computer terminal and puts on his slouch hat.
At this moment, I'm gonna put on my in unison. I can't with the headset. I thought about this ahead of time. I was like, this isn't gonna work, this bit. But here,
put it sideways. Put it sideways. Long ways.
Well, let me do it right.
You're gonna fuck up that hat for the record. You're gonna fuck up that hat.
This is DJ Houston Nick now.
DJ Nicky Houston.
Nicky Houston. I wish I thought about this ahead of time. I would have wore different headphones, making it awesome. So I could just wear this for the whole episode.
That's sick, dude. See, can you put it on long ways across, like turn it 90 degrees
with my headset on? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is. I guess I can do something like.
You could do like that. It'll slip though, right?
Yeah, I got tiny ears. It'll never work. There, you know what? Nope. There we go.
Hell yeah. Oh crap. Let's see how long that lasts. Yeah. Crocbot stands up from his computer terminal and puts on his slouch hat. Kudos to you for adding that in the script, indicating that he truly means business. He walks past Wombat Stew, who is passed out and tied to a table.
It won't happen until I dispose of your teammates, Wombat Stew. Feel free to watch them perish if you ever regain consciousness.
Crocbot turns on a live monitor of everything that is going on outside. He then enters a garage, or from what I understand, referred to as car hole in Australia. Is that true?
No.
Did you just make that up?
That car hole is a Simpsons bit.
Oh, okay. Pretty good.
I should have convinced you that they do. That would have been funny.
Inside said car hole stands a robotic ram 30 feet tall.
Ho! The Down Under freedom fighters don't stand a chance against my ultimate weapon, the CD-ROM ram.
Nice. Crocbot inserts the CD-ROM he grabbed earlier. The ram wakes up and rushes out of the car hole, attacking all the Down Under freedom fighters. We cut back to Tails, who is having a vision and spoken to by the Ancient Walkers. Real quick, what is the Ancient Walker voice again? I completely forgot from that episode.
I put down in the script that it's the voice of the Ancient Walkers, but
I
think it's the Ancient Walkers talking through Tails.
What?
Yeah, because the next line is when Tails, like, the Ancient Walkers, they were speaking through me. And then one of the lines it's hinted at by saying it shows an image of Tails kneeling, kind of praying, and says, "So it was written, and therefore so it must come to be." So this is Tails talking.
Is it?
Yeah. Look at the frame where like that ghost image is coming out of the fire, and Tails is like kneeling on page 11. He's finishing the sentence. So it is written, and therefore so it must be. And then the next image is him coming out of a daze. So he was like in a trance saying all of this. Am I wrong?
You're right. You're right. I see it now. Okay, here we go. Eons ago, the young sun burned brightly on its new spawned world, Mobius. Life evolved slowly until the first walker emerged from the primordial ooze. Centuries passed, and sentient creatures continued to develop, ushering the Saurian Age. We see an image of dinosaurs walking Mobius. A brutal balance was struck, and this simple society thrived, until the sky above turned green. Beauty and terror combined as the heavens opened up, and the hard hail fell upon all. Those who survived were witness to the coming of the Chaos Emeralds.
Over centuries, these crystals have inspired many cultural wonders. Pagan worship, technological advances capable of driving those who harness it mad. And in hands of pure evil, they can be corrupted into weapons of destructions. But absolute energy cannot be created or destroyed. The infinite power of the Chaos Emeralds shall realign for a higher purpose. The Chosen One, who shall gather them, will walk amongst you, and the great harmony shall begin.
Tails wakes up in a daze, asking where he is and what that voice came from. Athair tells him that he too heard the voice coming through Tails we agreed on. Tails accuses the Ancient Walkers of giving him the visions he just had and the voices he just heard.
Nonsense, my boy. As you said, just a bunch of statues.
Tails then realizes that all of his injuries have been healed. Just then, Barbie Koala falls into the giant hole. Barbie reintroduces herself to Tails and fills Tails in on what's been happening while Tails has been hanging out with Athair and the Ancient Walkers. Barbie Koala, just a feminine Aussie voice.
We're like at the point where we need to just like get clips of the episode and save them on your desktop of like each voice you do, so you have like a dictionary of voices.
That's a good idea. It's also funnier to just make a new one up on the spot.
Yeah, it legitimately is funnier just being like, I think this is right.
The lack of consistency may mirror this comic. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, right.
Crocbot unleashed a giant mega beast on us. It butted me from his fortress to this crater. It's just Walt Wallaby, Guru Emu, and Duckbill Platypus left to fight the CD-ROM Ram. Will you help us out? Sure. Let me just say goodbye to my host.
Tails turns around to thank Athair and the Ancient Walkers, but no one was there. Barbie insists they need to leave now, and Tails grabs Barbie and flies out of the crater. We cut back to Down Under's freedom fighters fight with the CD-ROM Ram. They are losing horribly. The Ram seems unstoppable.
Okay, I'm through playing around. Time to dig deep, freedom fighters. Deep into my pocket, that is, where I keep a supply of boomerangs.
He throws the
boomerangs.
You're right, thank you.
Where I keep a supply of boomerangs.
He throws the bomb that's in the shape of a boomerang at the Ram, exploding the Ram instantly and in one hit.
Why didn't he fucking use this earlier? I'm so sorry.
My first thought.
It was just like you destroyed it in one hit. Why? What are we doing? Sorry, keep on going.
Crocbot, who has been monitoring the situation from his control room, screams out in frustration. The blimp with Crocbot's materials calls in and asks if everything is clear for landing. Be careful, Scaly One. This is a delicate procedure. Do not risk an explosion by rushing things. Crocbot begins the landing procedure when Tails flies in carrying Barbie. Barbie kicked... For the record, for those who are listening in, or just everyone, Barbie is spelled B-A-R-B-Y, like shrimp on the Barbie, which no one in Australia says, but yes. Barbie kicks into Crocbot, who flies forward onto the controls for the electrified landing hook, causing the landing hook to swing right into the blimp and blow the blimp up. Barbie runs to Wally and wakes him up. Crocbot hits Tails in the head with his tails and runs off. Crocbot's tail, his lizard tail.
Yeah.
Lucky for me, I'll keep an ace in the hole. My nuclear-powered mega mecha tank.
He jumps in his tank and drives off, looking like he might get a clean getaway. Guru Emu, however, has different plans. He asks Walt for a bomberang. He then gets Tails to fly up in the sky.
I thought you hippie types were non-violent.
Even a... I enjoy Guru Emu so much. Even a peace train comes to a stop, kiddo. Chew on this, Crocbot. He throws the bomberang at the tank. While it seems like it doesn't do much, the explosion managed to take out the steering and the brakes. Crockbot is now heading full speed into the giant crater of the floating island. And a nuclear explosion happens. However, instead of a mushroom cloud, the face of a Thayer forms. We cut to a few hours later. The Down Under freedom fighters are asking Tails to join. He politely declines and says his place is in Knothold Village, and he misses his friends. He looks out at sea, crying. He has no way of going home as of now. But just then, the 40-fathom freedom fighters show up with Tails' submarine, the Sea Fox. Tails hops in the Sea Fox, which I'm assuming is, I believe they've repaired it, right? That's just assumed. All right.
Yeah. Yes, you are correct.
In the time of that other adventure, they fixed it. Sure.
Yeah, the freedom fighters were like, the underwater ones were like, we got nothing else going on. There's no threats down here. Let's just fix this thing, I guess.
Tails hops in the Sea Fox and starts heading back to Knothold Village, excited to tell his friends of both the adventure he's had and that there are freedom fighters all over the world fighting the good fight just like them. The end.
Yeah, so what do you think?
It's a story. This third part I'm like neutral on, but only because I'm already down here. I'm not that impressed by the whole thing. So this ending is like, okay, sure, whatever. It wasn't like a hair-pulling, frustrating ending for me personally. We get some cool lore.
That was the thing for me, is I was like excited. In fact, I had to like kind of read it twice, because at first I was like, hell yeah, that was awesome. We finally got lore on like what's happening in this world. And then I had to take a step back and be like, well, wait a minute. In terms of a story, this kind of fucking sucks.
Yeah. Ideally, you do both, right? But
yeah, ideally, you can make it so Tails does something. This is supposed to be Tails' fucking adventure, and he doesn't even like... I thought they would at least give him, when he flies in to like, I don't know, save the day, when he punches Crockbot, when he like brings Barbie to kick Crockbot. I thought like maybe they would let Tails do it, right? But he didn't even get that. So he just flew people around who did the actions,
which is critical support, but at the same time, like the spotlight is so shared with everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess I don't know. Like, these are supposed to be Tails' friends that he's building.
Well, I look at it as like, what did we learn about Tails?
Nothing.
Right? Exactly. We learned about the history of the floating island. We learned about Altair and the history of like Knuckles' like echidna race and whatnot. And we learned nothing about Tails. So I'm like, why is Tails even here? Why is Tails here?
The point of a character arc is that the character goes on some kind of journey. It doesn't always have to be positive or fulfilling or whatever. It can be regressive. It can be like a dark place where they end up. That's fine. But some kind of arc. And they can even end up in a similar place they were before, but have that journey be somewhere. Tails is so out of the spotlight for this, which is a tactic you can do, but he's so out of the spotlight for this, and there's no arc for him to go on, which is the mistake. He is either unconscious or in like some tribal trance for, I want to say, over half of the runtime of like per panel.
Yeah, 100%.
So bad. Don't name this the Tales miniseries, dude.
They tried doing like a full circle. They tried giving him like an arc, right? Where he was like, I missed my friends. I was mad before, and now I know that they did it out of love for me or whatnot at the very end. I didn't even include it in the fucking script because like, this is bullshit. This is such a throwaway thing. Because he didn't learn that. Where in the fucking... He didn't learn that lesson.
It was shoved in at the end. Yeah.
They just decided he learned it. And that to me is like the worst type of writing. It's just like, this is the lesson I was supposed to learn by going on this adventure. But none of the actions that took place led me to the story didn't parallel his like the learnings he was supposed to learn.
At least we don't. Maybe other readers can extrapolate that. We did not get that at all. I really didn't.
Yeah, I didn't either. It should have been something where it has to be Tails screws up something, right? To mirror what like everyone's like looking out for him, like what causes him to go on this adventure, right? Is him
he's the
feeling
baby.
Like,
he's the baby of the group.
Yeah, and so for it to make sense in like a character building moment would be he would have to go on this adventure and screw something up, right? And then he'll like come to the realization of like, oh, I'm still young and I'm learning, and I shouldn't be so angry at the people who are trying to look out for me. That would be the character arc, but instead we just get Tails just hanging out unconscious for the entire fucking thing.
Yeah. My preferred like way these are structured is like character, plot, and then lore. Like that's like my preferred priority. I'm not, and that doesn't have to be every single.
That is the same for me too. That is 100%.
And I'm not saying that needs to be every comic or story ever, not even within this issue or this comic, right? You can do different things, and I'm totally cool with swapping things around sometimes, but it seems like that is the predominant, it reverses that. The predominant way this whole comic series has been set up so far is it seems to be just either really straightforward cartoon plots, which in the first 20 issues I can forgive that. But we're brushing up, like we're in a hard gray zone right now.
Lore dumps, so
yes.
I think we might be on the cusp. And I like, according to the Bobby Schroeder's reading order that we're following, she specifically said this is like where it kind of starts becoming a real comic. So
I'm mistaken. We were so consumed by our personal issues that we failed to mention this is a milestone for us, Nick. This is the last episode of the first part, the early years part of Bobby Schroeder's reading order. Which is really cool.
We're getting into the quote real stuff now. So if you're going to change up the theme song,
no, we're not changing the theme song. No, I'm not making a new one.
We gotta figure out what era we're in, and you can base it on what theme song is playing. I'll wear a hat and I'll wear a cowboy hat in the next era, so you can just quickly see. Just at a glance, you'll be able to tell. And then
I should change my shirt. It should be done by shirts.
You wear like a black one to signify shadow. You're a lot darker.
The emo era. No, yeah. Let's real quick. Let's go. So we did an overall thing here. Some quick things I did like about this at least issue. The Echidna story, where they're like a decadent futuristic society.
I was gonna bring this up. Fucking insane. It just felt like. I don't even know what it felt like, but my first immediate thought was just like, well, okay, if the floating island was this like futuristic city, where are those ruins? Huh? We've been on that island. It's there's no
some
city.
Ruins, but it should be more like the ruins
they're like
of
temples, like Aztec ruins. They're not skyscraper ruins.
Yeah.
I'm annoyed. This is the shit that's gonna rub me the wrong way.
Because okay, how do you feel about that idea? As inconsistent as it was, how do you feel about the idea?
About them just raising the island?
So the Angel Island is such an advanced society. Echidnopolis.
We don't know if it's Angel Island. It's thank you.
Yeah, Echidnopolis is such an advanced society that they were able to raise the island. One, it's an advanced society, futuristic urban society, and two, they were able to raise the island through technology. I think that's kind of cool. It's silly, but cool.
No, sure. It just raises more questions. It's more
raises more questions.
Okay. So it worked, right? They protected the city. What happened to all the Echidna in that city then? What happened to that society? How long ago are we talking here? Because there's no time frames given. Yeah.
Idea. Sorry, interrupting you. You know, it could have been that maybe that was such a long time ago. All of those ruins, there should be some ruins, but those ruins are buried deep, and the ancient ruins are like the next epoch.
I mean, I think that's rad as hell. And I hope that's the direction it goes. But that's also like how many millennia in the future?
Yeah. It's not implied that it's not implied that Athair was alive to see that. No, that is like ancient.
I'm just saying, looking at the family tree that they made in the cave, there's only 5 Kidnas.
Yeah, so it's not that far. It's like 200, 300.
We don't
200.
know if that's true or not. There's just random caveman drawings.
Could have been more beyond the frame, beyond the panel.
Yeah, I wonder. It raises so many questions about, okay, were they the only advanced civilization at the time? Was there other advanced civilizations that were wiped out from this meteor?
Mm-hmm.
Did it like destroy the world? You'll notice if you look at the drawing when the floating island rises up, there's greenery, right?
Yeah.
So are we to assume that the asteroid came and made this like a desert?
It had to be. It had to be. They made it a wasteland. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I'm just asking the questions. I mean, I guess we're gonna learn more. There was a thing saying, hey, you'll learn more in like issue 31 of Sonic or something. So we're gonna learn more about the history soon. My question is, they specifically say that the Chaos Emeralds are absolute energy that cannot be created or destroyed. So, where do they come from if they can't be created?
God, like that's all I can.
Well, I mean,
they're claiming it can't be created or destroyed. Who knows?
Well, I've seen Sonic use all the negative energy of a Chaos Emerald before. Or no, I saw Chaos use that. So
okay. I was going to say, you're mentioning a fan work of Nazo Unleashed.
No, that's Sonic Adventure.
Okay. I just want to mention.
So,
yeah, go ahead.
No, go.
Well, I'm going to tangent, but this reminds me a lot of the Team Fortress 2 comic. So the video game Team Fortress 2, which is one of the all-time classic class shooters, and it's a Valve game. You probably know what Team Fortress 2 is, audience, but it's the lore, which is not barely present in the game, but expanded upon in the comic. It's such a good comic. The humor is absolutely top-notch, and it's interactive too. But anyway, the lore is that the whole driving point of the story is this special element called Australium, and it
shut up. Sorry, that's just pretty fucking so sorry to cut you off. One of my favorite things in one of the Gundam show is Gundam Wing, where they just made the Gundams out of a material called Gundanium.
Wait. That's so stupid. That doesn't make sense, like, etymology wise, because you would have to discover the element first before making the product.
Well, yeah, so I assume it was given the name Gundanium, and then they called them Gundams after discovering the element. I assume. It's been a while since I've seen Gundam Wing.
That's
just the thing I remember.
That's still stupid. Because the reason why you call something a Gundam is because it's a walker with guns on it, right?
Well, hey, maybe that was just luck. That was God, like, playing a little bit, But also the element is so rare they can only make like 5 of these Gundams, and they give them to kids that have like PTSD, and they just like kill a bunch of people. It's good. It's pretty good.
Always give it to PTSD riddled kids. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry to go. So Australium.
That's awesome. No, it's called Australium, and it's a very silly comic, and it's this extremely powerful thing that can create these wonder weapons or wonder societies, and also give you like eternal life, basically, or like it makes you much younger. Anyway, because it was discovered, the pockets of it are all in Australia. The element, Australia is actually in Team Fortress 2 world this hyper advanced society where everyone is young, beautiful, and there are like flying cars, and it looks like this panel.
Well,
in the
considering
year
the
like
fact this is
1800.
Australia, I think there's something going on where a lot of writers just happen to know the truth, where they're just like, Australia is where the fountain of youth is, and that's where ultimate energy is.
Yeah. One of my favorite like panels transition is like it's like shows hyper futuristic like Jetsons world, and like that's Australia in 1800. And it's like that's how advanced the society. You really should read this comic. It's really good.
Right.
It's all available online on the Valve website. And but anyway, and that's like the driving point of the comic. And it's just funny how like Sonic the Hedgehog is doing it first, like like 2 decades earlier, technically speaking. There was no comet, there's no floating island, but just advanced Australia-like society based off of this special element or thing is it's so funny how that plot point is so similar.
I feel like we're kind of close to wrapping it up.
So small detail, not as important, but small detail. You mentioned a nuclear explosion. Did we confirm that it was a nuclear explosion?
It was implied because
the mushroom cloud?
his tank was nuclear.
Oh, okay.
And then the mushroom cloud happened.
You're right. Yeah. I'm only saying this because just in general, not correcting you now because you're right. I just saw it is nuclear. Mushroom clouds can happen with a big enough explosion because of how the science works. The vacuum left behind by the massive and immediate explosion can create a mushroom cloud. So any large enough thermobaric weapon can create a mushroom cloud, and not necessarily in the face of a echidna, but the mushroom cloud is possible. So if you see in future conflict out there in the news, if you see mushroom cloud, do not be scared right away. But mushroom clouds are possible through conventional explosions.
Okay, so there was a specific line I wanted to call out. Athair, is it Athair? At hair.
According to how you have written it in this script and how I keep seeing it, it is Athair.
Athair. Okay.
Maybe it's Athair, but it looks like Athair.
Well, let's stick with Athair.
Yeah.
Tails specifically asked you mean the floating island would fit into this crater? And his response was, no, the sacred covenant was broken. What do we think that could mean?
I don't know.
Because that's such a wild line to just have in there, as in the sacred covenant with like Mobius, right? Like
I think
I'm just trying to figure out what that implies, because I'm not sure if I understand the gravity of what that meant.
Sacred covenant was
and there's a chance Mike Gallagher didn't even know the gravity. He just said it as a bullshit lie. Like, why can't this go back? I don't know. The sacred covenant broke. What the fuck are you talking about?
He either a throwaway line, or he was like, I don't know what the fuck Ken is talking about, but I have to write it. So
Ken gave me the story outline and was like, sure, whatever. This makes no fucking sense. It's supposed to be a Tails adventure. Why are we talking about Knuckles?
Yeah, that's so effing true. Jesus Christ. Well, you mean I'm looking at the panel right now. Whoa, you mean the floating island would fit into this crater? No, Okay. So, sorry, I was thinking like, the explosion. No. He's saying, could the island return? Okay. Could it return to the crater?
Yeah.
And because Athair, from what I remember, yes, he was talking about society. He was talking about this advanced society, because he seems like he's not just like a survivor, like descendant of this society. He seems like he hates it. He's like, I'm quoting him from this panel.
Yeah.
Busy. Busy. My echidna ancestors were busy too. Busy ignoring the natural beauty of planet Mobius. Busy building skyscrapers and scientific toys. That's
he's what, Luddite? That's what they're called?
So Luddites are misunderstood. It goes into a heavy class thing during the Industrial Revolution. The layman term of it is that, Luddites hate the progression and they hate technology. What it really was class consciousness, and like all the Luddites getting fucked over by the rapid advance of tech with the Industrial Revolution, that they were like, you're not giving us fucking like compensation for all this technology pushing us out at such a rapid rate that humanity has never seen before.
Essentially robots with manufacturing now.
And AI and all that shit. But anyway, I know what you're saying. Yes. He rejects what he's like not an eco-fascist.
He's like a dude who would get a dumb phone right now.
That's so true. But the point I'm making is that he hates it. He hated that society, right? So, okay. So he's saying like, okay. It's like, oh, Tails is like, oh, it would fit back into the crater, right? No, it would never return. It should never return because the sacred covenant was broken where Echidnopolis rejected the hubris, right, of the Echidna was so much, the love of smart technology. I'm implying that now, but you know the it's
I
like
it's like going with this.
It's like you were joking, but you're kind of right. Where it's like, oh yeah, social media for us, right? Social media, AI, our hubris, nuclear weapons or whatever. We're so drunk with all of this tech. We're running away from true nature. And that is kind of mirrored with what Athair is saying about the floating island, right? Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah.
No, I do.
That's the implication that I only got from those 2 panels, those 4 panels.
No. And I think that's a good interpretation. The rejection of, like, we'll say Mother Earth, right? And they quite literally ejected themselves from Earth
but to save themselves.
To save themselves or their way of life.
Ooh, yeah. Maybe Athair is an eco-fascist or like an eco-absolutist or something. It's like, no, we should have gotten destroyed by that comet. Okay, that's
the vibe I kind of get.
That's a cool interpretation. I like that. Thank you, Mike Gallagher, for whoever put that plot point in there for implying us in that direction. I like it.
Yeah, that's my only last question, really quickly. I guess I got 2. Is one, why did Crockbot wait so long to put on the hat? It seemed really that's when he meant business, dumb.
Dude.
You are right. That is when he meant business, but also he could have been meaning business the whole time, and maybe this would have never happened.
Could have been cool. Yeah.
Yeah. That's if he was wearing that the whole time, I think this would have gone down differently, is what I'm saying. If that hat was there, wouldn't have gone down.
Also, the lack of just quick critique on his strategy here. It's like
he doesn't have a strategy. Let's be real.
He's just kind of throwing shit at the wall, but it's like you have a melee, you have a close combat unit, this giant ram. And then as your last ditch effort, then you pull out the nuclear tank? Like, bro, you use both force multipliers at the same time. While the ram is like in close quarters combat, right? You use the tank as like artillery or like range as a force multiplier, I don't know. Okay. Whatever. I can accept it. He's hubris, he's dumb, whatever.
As kind of a wrap-up question, how do we feel about the freedom fighters down under as a whole?
They're all right.
There's something that happened that I'm surprised you didn't point out that I thought you would be like, that's rad as hell. Which is they got the peace-loving guy to go and throw the bomb boomerang to blow up the big bad guy, which is kind of signifying like, hey man, sometimes you can't piece it out. You gotta grab a gun and fuck shit up.
Yeah, maybe if John Lennon was carrying a piece, he wouldn't have fucking died like a pussy.
I think it was pretty obvious that's what this comic was trying to say.
Catch her in the rye? Catch this bullet, bitch. The 80s would have gone so differently had John Lennon done that.
Because he would have achieved world peace through force.
Yeah, 100%. Imagine this.
I like that because I don't know the exact details. Like I know the dude,
the murder,
read Catcher in the Rye, and then he went and murdered him. But like the way, I guess I always envisioned it as he just kind of walked up and like shot him. But the picture you're painting is like John Lennon had a chance to pull out his gun and shoot him back.
I do forget the details. I think he did talk to him and he was like, no, I don't want to see any fans right now or talk to anyone. And then when he turned around, that's when the murderer, I forget his name, murderer shot him in the back. I think that's, like look at the details. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
No, I got nothing.
No, yeah. I mean, look, they do talk about it. That's not even, I don't even think that's a critique. It's more like the guru Emu says himself, like, yeah, this is too much. I'm gonna effing do it. I'm gonna blow him up with a bomb. Oh, shout out to another historical event, the Hindenburg crash, where they recreated in this really cool full page illustration.
I meant to call that out. I forgot.
That's okay. The humanity. One of the greatest.
Bring back blimps. Blimps are cool.
They are cool.
Yeah,
they are cool. They're extremely inefficient, but damn, they're cool.
Sometimes you gotta do the rule of cool. If it's cool, you should just do it. Sometimes it's not about efficiency.
And actually, in this world of increasing atmospheric instability and weather, yeah, let's just bring back little blimps.
Fuck it, man.
Like how we're bringing back the Titanic.
Yeah, hubris. Let's do it. And that's the issue. Only 385 left to go. I'm Nick. I stream at twitch.tv/Mojosaurus, and my personal Blue Sky is at Mojosaurus.
And you can follow my jazz and people power adventures in Chicago at Blue Collar Jam on Blue Collar Jam. No, Blue Collar Jazz, like it says right here. Blue Collar Jazz on Instagram. I honestly, I'm flirting with changing my Blue Sky handle to that as well, because that just seems to be my personality now. But at Blue Collar Jazz, and then I am currently on Blue Sky at Dom Guan.
You can follow us on socials at Gotta Talk Fast. TikTok is Gotta Talk Faster. We also have a video version of the podcast where you can follow along with panels and watch our handsome faces. You can write into the show at sonograms@gottatalkfast.com, ask us questions, provide corrections, and give us your opinion on this week's issue. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. And remember, when life keeps going fast, you gotta talk fast and just get through it. I love you.
I love you. Gotta talk, gotta talk.
Gotta Talk Fast was written by Nick Folkerts and edited by Dominic Guanzon. Intro and outro themes recorded by Dominic Guanzon. Gotta Go Fast originally composed by Norman J. Grossfeld, Joseph Garrity, and Russell Velasquez.
Gotta talk, gotta talk. Fast. Gotta talk, gotta talk. Fast. Gotta talk, gotta talk. Fast. Gotta talk. Gotta talk. Fast. Gotta talk. Fast. Gotta talk. Fast. Gotta talk. Fast.